Muse from the Borderland. This is EPAS Unleashed.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Novato. I am our Education Coordinator here at Paso Animal Services, and welcome to our very first episode of EPAS Unleashed. Of course, this podcast, we are hoping to talk about pet tips, pet education, and of course our life-saving mission and our different programs that we have in place and how you can help. So we hope that you enjoy our podcast. If you have any topics that you would like to learn about, feel free to comment, and we'll try and reach that topic. Today we are joined by Mason Castillo, our Training and Enrichment Coordinator. We are going to be talking about Train Your Dog Month, which is celebrated in January. So we're going to go ahead and go over some topics on how you can train your dog and the importance of doing that.
Yay!
Okay, so Mason, just to get started, how long have you been working here at El Paso Animal Services?
Well, so I started as a volunteer back in 2016, 17. I guess people got tired of me being here all the time, so they hired me. Then I became an adoption counselor, and after that, I jumped to the behavioral department. I've been in this position for almost a year and a half already.
Okay, awesome. And your position, can you give us like a little insight of what you do on a daily basis?
Well, just like everybody else in here, I do a little bit of everything. From poop scooping and obviously taking care of the animals, but basically the core tasks of my position is providing enrichment for the pets, doing a little bit of training, and doing the behavioral assessment for the dogs that we have in here. That encompasses a lot of things, but in a nutshell, just making sure that the dogs are happy and they're having a good time when they're here.
Awesome. And so January is National Train Your Dog Month. Can you speak about the benefits of training your dog?
Yes, I'm going to try to make it really short because there's a lot that needs to be covered in that. But I think one of the main things when it comes to training is making sure that you take the steps necessary to teach your dogs things that they're going to need in the future. I'm talking about, you have to think, you have a puppy right now? Yeah. Potty training, socialization, all of those things are important, but what's going to happen when your puppy gets older? They need to go to the vet more often. In case of an emergency, they need to be taken to the emergency vet and stuff like that. Giving your dog core behaviors to be able to perform those behaviors when needed. Just an example, one of my dogs has, everybody says that she's fat, which is full of love, but we've noticed that her back legs are a little bit weak, so we've been training her to exercise them. Mm-hmm. And in the event of her needing a surgery, stay in the crate so she can rest. Because one of the things that people struggle the most when the dogs are going through surgery or any medical procedures, how do I keep my dog like there so they don't move? Mm-hmm. So it's basically just teaching you the things that are going to need in the future. And I think that every pet owner should take those things into consideration when they take a dog home.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, owning a pet isn't just, it's a pretty dog. Yeah. It's more, there's a lot of responsibility that comes into owning a pet.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned through Disney and other TV shows that dogs are perfect and they're going to rescue you, they're a fire or something, but the truth is that they're animals. They're living, breathing, self-sufficient things that think for themselves, that have personalities. Boy, do they have personalities. So you have to also think about them. It's not what's best for you in the future. You have a responsibility in front of you, and you have to think about that too.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking on socialization, what is socialization, and how can you socialize your pet?
Okay. So do not take him to a dog park. That's the first thing. Most people think, okay, I have a dog that is afraid of other dogs. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to take him to a dog park, and he's going to learn to love other dogs. Yeah. That's not how it works, because what happens when you expose somebody to their worst fear, chances are is you're going to traumatize them for life. Yeah. So socialization should start the moment the puppy is born. Anything that happens until the 6-month mark, all of those things are going to stay with the puppy. So it's really important to expose him in a safe and controlled way to everything that the puppy is going to see at some point. I'm talking about other dogs, other animals, children, elderly people, people that have some sort of physical disability that might move in a strange way on the eyes of the puppy. Strangers, especially strangers, people with hats, because what happens again if there's a fire? Chances are your dog, if it's not well socialized, will try to buy the firefight.
Yeah.
So it's important to expose them to as many things as possible, but the key is doing it in a safe way. And I'm not talking about making sure um, that the puppy can interact with everybody. I'm talking about making sure that the puppy is having positive experiences to those things. And in a controlled way, keep it short, keep it cute, make sure the puppy's having fun, because the more negative experiences you build in the puppy, the more fear is gonna grow in the puppy. So we have a lot of dogs that unfortunately are very under socialized. We have to remember the pandemic happened. Most pandemic puppies grew in a home. They never got out. They never got socialized. So now we're seeing whole different set of behaviors from those animals that are not normal for a socialized animal. So, like I said, from the moment the puppy is born until the 6 months of age, everything should be pretty cute, really positive experiences. What happens if you have a dog that is older than that? More reason to socialize the animal, more reason to expose him to as many positive things as possible to counter all of those bad experiences the dog had before. I think before any training is done on an animal, the first step is socialization. It's the most important thing.
It's the most important thing, yes. So that's why it's so important not to take puppies from their mom, puppies from their siblings, because that helps with their development.
Yeah, too, because you have to think about how the puppy sees the world. Their nose, obviously their eyes, but their nose and their mouth are the most important parts of the puppy. So most dogs have really strong nose. So everything scent-wise, they're going to start learning from that.
Yeah.
There's a study that was just recently released that says that dogs can actually assign emotions to odors. Mm-hmm. So let's say a puppy had a bad experience where they were smelling, I don't know, bacon. They might develop an aversion to bacon. But when it comes to puppies, there's this thing called bite inhibition that they learn when they're puppies. So basically what happens is that the puppies are playing, and one puppy bites too hard, the other puppy yelps, and the fun stops. And that's how they learn to regulate the bite. We see a lot of juvenile dogs, maybe 1-year-old, 2-year-old, that don't have that because they were separated from the mom, and now they bite too hard, they nip too hard, and they're all over the place when it comes to the mouth.
Yeah. So if somebody is looking for a trainer, what are some questions that they should ask?
Okay, that's a very heavy topic. Again, I'm gonna try to condense it, but the most important thing is that we have to ask them, what are your qualifications? Just to put it as an example, I personally will never allow a person that comes to me and tells me, hey, I'm a vet tech, let me treat your dog, to treat my dog without showing me that they do have the training, the education to be able to do that. The problem is that the dog training industry is not regulated. Which means that anybody can wake up tomorrow, they've had dogs their entire lives, and they can open a business and start training dogs, but you don't know if they're up to date with the science, with the education that they need to have to be able to treat a living animal. You know? Yeah. So the most important thing is like, what are your qualifications? The other one would be, what happens if my dog gets it wrong? It goes a lot into the science of learning, but basically the most important thing that the person has to be able to answer is, if my dog makes a mistake, is he going to be punished? Or are we going to try to take the steps so the next time my dog gets it right? There's a lot of, this is a very hotly debated topic, so we might get some comments on this, I don't know. But there's a lot of people that do believe that you have to punish the dog, but that to me is very inhumane, because you are allowing the dog to make a mistake before teaching them what to do. So that will be something I would ask too. Obviously, we enter to the field of certifications. Where did you study to become a dog trainer? It's like I said, there's not really a regulating body, but there are a lot of organizations that at least certify that you have the basic knowledge to be a dog trainer. And the other thing, obviously, is what kind of methods do you use. Again, there's a lot of conversation about the topic, but in this shelter, at least, we want to focus on positive reinforcement, force-free methods that ensure that the animal is learning, not making mistakes, but reinforcing what they're learning and without punishing the dog.
Okay. And as far as prong collars, shock collars, I know that there are some trainers that do use that. How do you feel about those?
I do think that the more you learn, the better you do. There are multiple studies that all of them say that on the long run, the use of those methods, prong collars, shock collars, create an aversion, create more behavioral issues, and really deteriorate the relationship with your dog.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't use them.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a shelter environment where some of our dogs are having the worst day of their lives. They're freaking out. They're trashing on the leash. We have really aggressive dogs coming in here sometimes, and I've never had the need to use those things while working with dogs in here. So if you look at from a more general perspective, if you go to a zoo, you have zookeepers drawing blood from a tiger without using a shock collar. When they're using a prong collar, the tiger is willingly give you the paw so you can draw blood. So it is possible to train an animal, especially a dog that basically we domesticated, to perform things without using punishment. So personally, I don't support it. I don't use it. But I do understand that some people feel the need to use it. I do believe that those people should get more educated to understand that there's really no need.
Yeah. And with trainers, it should be fun learning, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's always, like you were saying, positive reinforcement. So is that something that they should look for? Is
Yes, because I mean, most people have this idea that when you're training a dog, is you against the dog and you have to make the dog do this. That's very time consuming. Honestly, your efforts could be directed into something better if you see the dog as your partner.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to tackle this new behavior today. We're going to do it together, and we're going to make sure that you are successful at it. There's nothing better than realizing when the dog, it clicks in their head, oh, this is what I need to do to get the cookie, and they start doing it.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no need to put a dog or yourself under that kind of stress, because I've seen a lot of trainers lose their temper. They get really frustrated. We're still humans, and we're going to make mistakes. So the best thing, I think, is form that partnership with your dog, cat, whatever you have, rat, and be able to work as a team and make it fun.
Yeah, because forcing a dog, I mean, to do stuff isn't really
No.
going to get them to learn, you know? It's
Yeah,
not-
I mean, it would be like when I was in school, I had a teacher that used to throw the eraser at us. I blocked everything that I learned in that class because I was always stressed that if I don't know, if I was breathing the wrong way, I was going to get hit with the
yeah,
eraser.
exactly.
That was in Mexico, by the way. So, but there's no learning happening when you're stressed. There's no learning happening when you're always afraid that you're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
And definitely there's no learning happening when the person you depend on, because dogs depend on us to take them out, to go potty, to go eat, to even when we go to sleep. If they're constantly dependent on us, there's no reason for them to be afraid of us at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't see that as something that is fair for the animal.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of touching on that, you know, here in El Paso, we do have that machismo mentality,
Yeah.
which, you know, can affect not only friendships, relationships, family, but it also can affect you as a pet owner.
Yes.
I feel that, you know, that machismo mentality, a lot of people don't want to neuter their you know, dogs because they feel that they're going to lose their masculinity, or that they have to be the alpha.
Yeah.
That alpha.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that thinks that way, I would advise you, please look into yourself and realize where those insecurities are coming, and don't take it on your animals, because honestly, dogs don't care if you put a tutor on them or if you
they don't know.
They
know
don't
what
understand
that.
that. Yeah, they understand that. But the whole alpha thing, I mean, I understand the appeal to it, but unfortunately, it is also based on wrong science. It was debunked by the same scientists that brought it forward a long time ago.
Yeah.
Most scientists, most people that are professionals in behavior already know that that's wrong. Unfortunately, we have TV shows that, and with everything on a TV show, it has to be shocking and it has to be appealing for people to watch it. Otherwise, I mean, they're not gonna tune in.
Yeah.
But it's not something that is factual. It's not evidence based. doesn't really exist. Even with wolves, the whole hierarchy of wolves is more based on a familial link. Like humans, they have mom and dad, and then the offspring. There's no alpha, and if you think about it that way, why would a pack of wolves hurt their own pack by kicking away the stronger members? I mean, that makes no sense. But again, there's appeal to it because insecurities, machismo, all those things. But it's not real science.
Yeah. So alpha, there's no such thing as
there's
as an
no
alpha.
such thing. Dominance, it's not a personality trait. Obviously, there's dominance in dogs where I want this and I want to take it from you. That is not real science, and it's something that people need to understand because we do have a lot of trainers that base their whole philosophy on that, and from the start we're already wrong. Again, dogs, we control everything. They're not trying to control us. I mean, we give them food whenever we want. We take them out whenever we want. They're not trying to take over. They're just trying to be with us. They're just trying to spend time with us. I mean, there's no, it's illogical.
Yeah, and like you were saying, even the person who came up with this alpha tried to
the whole thing started with a scientist that was studying wolves, and first of all, wolves are not dogs, so first mistake. Second of all, the dogs were in captivity, and he released them, and they started fighting with each other because they were in captivity and they were fighting for resources. So any animal, if you take them from their basic 5 freedoms, freedom from distress, from comfort, and all those things, they're gonna start misbehaving. So the whole experiment was set up the wrong way, and when he realized, he tried to fix it. He's spent his entire life trying to fix it, but unfortunately, it took off, and now it has a life on its own. And he is really adamant on night saying, "I was wrong," but I guess people don't really listen now.
So your dog's not trying to challenge you. They're not
trying
to.
I mean, no, it's not that. But
they don't understand.
No.
And kind of on that topic, what is resource guarding? And you're saying that the wolves were fighting over resources. Can you kind of touch on that topic?
So, just like with us, animals. I mean, when it comes to animals in a normal setting in a home, they have resources: food, water, the owner itself, that corner in the kitchen where you always throw away your trash or whatever. Anything that gives the dog some sort of comfort and pleasure is a resource for them. So some dogs, unfortunately, have more predisposition to guard. I mean, we have guard breeds, we have livestock breeds, but the whole concept of resource guarding is a dog wants something. That's basically it. It's just like us. I mean, if I'm really hungry, I go to I don't know, Carl's Jr. or something, I'm eating, somebody sits in front of me and takes my fries, I'm going to punch him. Same is going to happen with your dog. Yeah. So the worst mistake people can make when treating resource guarding is showing them that you are the boss and you can take it away whenever you want. We already know that we can take it away whenever we want. But there's no really a reason for you to do that to your dog. I mean, just show them that, you can grab this, but we can trade.
Yeah.
I have a dog at home that she had some issues with resource guarding at the beginning. She's still a little bit resourcey, but she's a guard dog, so she's gonna do that. Yeah. So I was teaching her to pick up things from the floor and just give it to me, and then she started to picking up trash and stuff and bringing it to me. But that was the fun part of it. But like I said, it's not something that it's that serious unless the dog actually is hurting somebody.
And what are some tips that you can give to the community as far as like crate training? That's something that I like doing at home with my dogs because I have 5 at home. So so I crate train them, and that's their safe little space, and they really enjoy that. So can you give us some tips on crate training?
Make it fun. Make it really fun. Most people have this wrong idea that to be able to create a dog, you have to put him in and then close the door and that's it.
Yeah.
Make it appealing for them to go in. Make it like something that they're looking forward every single day, because I mean, if they're gonna stay in a crate for like 8 hours a day, they're gonna be bored. I mean, put things in there that they can enjoy. My dogs at home, whenever they realize we're getting ready for work, one of them just goes into the crate.
Sure.
Like, okay, I'm gonna give you a treat. just make it fun. Don't make it a timeout. Don't make it a wait for a punishment. I mean, just make it something super fun to go in there, because crate training, even though some people don't like it, it's sometimes a necessity, because like I said, prepare for the worst. What happens if your dog unfortunately gets hurt or they need a surgery? They're going to need to be in a crate at some point. If you take them somewhere, I don't know, a hotel or something, you're going to need to crate them at some point. So build that behavior before you actually need it. So by the time that you need it, you can always use it.
Yeah.
I have no issues with crating my dog. She just goes in there. If you go into my house, the crate has like pieces of fabric that she tore apart, boxes, toys, and before we leave, she just goes in there and she patiently waits for us to give her a treat before we leave. So it's fun for her. I mean, she stays there all day.
Yeah, and enrichment is something that you could give to your pet. How important is enrichment for pets at home?
The most important thing. People often forget that dogs have needs, and some of those needs are specific the type of dog that you have. Terriers were bred to basically hunt and go in the holes. Retrievers were bred to retrieve. You have dogs that herd. You have dogs that guard. You have dogs that all they want to do is be around people. So enrichment basically is giving the dog those outlets for those behaviors that they do have to make their life more enriching, basically. The most common reasons why dogs get returned is because, joke aside, they bark, they dig, they chew. Those are normal behaviors in a dog. So let them have that, but in a controlled way where you can make sure that they're, first of all, safe, because we don't want dogs to chew on things that might hurt them, or dig in places where they could like get hurt or things like that. But if your dog is digging in the backyard, the best thing you can do for them is buy a kiddie pool, fill it with sand, and bury treats in their toys, and let them dig. I mean, that's something that they love, something that they enjoy, and it's gonna make their life better.
Yeah, so it's not just physical exercise. They also have to get their mind stimulated, and that keeps them healthy and happy and expresses their normal behavior. So
because again, we go to the fact that they're gonna get old, and at some point they're not gonna be able to walk, or they're not gonna be able to walk as much, or for some reason they cannot walk. You can rely on walks forever. Make your backyard the most exciting place for them to be. Make sure that they have things to sniff. Make sure that they have things to chew, where to dig, and at the end, I mean, it's just to make sure that they're safe wherever they go.
Yeah. And here, when adopters, take a pet home, there is a resource that we do provide to them as far as training, correct?
Yeah, well, I do have a partner. There's only two of us for over 700 dogs in here, so we cannot always reach out to all the adopters and fosters. So we partner up with a company called Good Pup, which basically is like telemedicine for dog training. Anybody that adopts fosters from us has access to the app with a special pricing for being in a shelter, which is not even that bad compared to other prices. It's not contract or anything like that. You can stop using it whenever you want. But the good thing is that you download the app and then you can text the trainer. And all of the trainers have been vetted. They're certified. They do use the most actual science that we have. And there's also vet techs in the app. So if you have any questions about medicine or something like that, they can also answer. And it's for all the people that adopt and foster from us.
Oh, that's awesome. And I mean, texting is just way more convenient, especially for introverts like us.
I don't want to call anybody. Just text me, and that works for me. Yeah.
So and these people that they reach out to, they are certified.
Yeah. Actually, before we started working with them, I was like, okay, I need to know what you're all about, because I'm not gonna. I mean, if you said you're a dog trainer, cool, but I need to see the facts.
Yeah.
Show me the receipts. So I sat down with them. They told me about how they vet the trainers. Everybody has to be certified by the CCPDT, which is one of the biggest organizations that we have here, or another organization that is up to date in science. Most of them have hours of experience. They've been doing this for a while. So anytime you text them, you will get assigned a certified dog trainer that can help you with whatever you have. And if they need to refer you to a behaviorist, which there's a difference there, they can go ahead and do that as well.
Awesome. So we already did the research. These people are certified and they're good for the adopters. And that's really great. I mean, I feel like not a lot of adopters know that we do offer that. and especially because it's discounted, it's a really
Yeah,
good thing
I
that they
mean,
should take advantage of.
I think everybody should have access to a good trainer, and we do have some good trainers here in El Paso, but we also have to understand that our community doesn't have a lot of money to be able to pay for those services, which is completely understandable. So, in a way to help us and help them, Good Pup is offering this special pricing for them as well.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you want to add to this segment for the community to know in regards to training their pet?
Just get educated, please. I think every person that owns a dog should at least learn about body language. I know a lot of people that think their dog is having a good time, and I see a dog, I'm like, that dog is stressed, or that dog is afraid. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I have to keep scrolling on Facebook because I see videos of children with dogs, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. But I think the most important thing is get educated on animal language and body language, so you can advocate for your dog.
Yes.
We are very, very far behind when it comes to dog training, unfortunately. And as a dog owner, as a dog guardian, as a dog parent, I think you need to do what's best for them. Learning how they're feeling according to their body language will allow you to advocate for them. You take into a doggy park. If they're not having fun, you will know. If the person that is trying to pet your dog is giving the dog bad feelings, advocate for your dog. It's okay to say no. And when it comes to dog training, also, if you don't feel comfortable with the way your trainer is treating your dog, you're allowed to say no, because chances are that person has as much experience as you have in dogs. So if you don't feel comfortable, just say no.
Yeah. I mean, before I started working here, I was one of those people, those uneducated people that would be right there hugging my dog, kissing my dog, and
here's the thing: we all are like that.
Yes.
We don't really know what we don't know,
Mhm.
but one of the mantras that I try to use here when I train volunteers and staff is, "You do better when you know better." So there's a lot of information. People can actually volunteer here. We have clicker trainings, playgroup trainings, the fencing handling trainings, and I think those are like really good starting points. Because in the end, I mean, like I said, unfortunately, not a lot of people has this knowledge, and I think it will improve the relationship with your dog a lot if you can communicate better with them.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I mean, you and I are both certified as bite prevention educators, so we hope that this podcast,
Yes.
will get out to the community and have an open mind, to learning about being a pet owner. And like we were saying, I mean, it's not your fault. I did not know getting involved.
Yeah, and again, I blame those shows that tell you, "Oh, you have to be the boss." Like, what? You already control everything. So.
Yes, yeah, and especially, I mean, there's social media so prevalent now in our community, and seeing those TikTok challenges where
oh my God, have you seen the one of the lady that is cutting the nails of their dog and they put peanut butter on the head and they do this and the dog is like leaking? Like, what makes you think that having your dog so close to your face when you're doing something really stressful is a good thing to do? I mean, that's how
yeah, and I mean, like you said, we can't blame really these people. They're just uneducated. But hopefully, with this podcast and offering more bite prevention, we can reach out to the community and help them change their ways.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And look at body language, and maybe we can even have a little segment on body language, teaching body
that would
language.
Be awesome.
Because like I was saying, I there's so much that I can think about back, before I started working here that it makes me cringe now.
Once you see it, you can unsee it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on that note, I guess that's the end of our first episode. We did it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being our first guest, and I'm sure that we'll have you back on because there's a lot of topics that we touched on that we could probably make a whole
I can
episode.
Speak for hours about this, so yeah, just tell me when.
Definitely. So thank you so much for having us, and we hope that you enjoyed our first episode of EPAS Unleashed, and we hope that you join us for our next episode.
Yay.
Thank you.